How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video where this time we'll be taking a look at fossil Pokemon. Now, of course, I'm not too knowledgeable in Pokemon in general. It's not something that I grew up with. So to help me do that, I have my wife who does know Pokemon.
I'm really excited to be here because, again, just like growing up with Pokemon, and it's like a lot of the similarities with prehistoric life. And I also brought my Psyduck, mainly because he's technically a dinosaur because he's a duck.
Birds.
Birds.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, and I have a little Quagsire here because I love water type Pokemon. So let's go into our first Pokemon is Ammonite, and he is really cute, and in his Pokédex entry is mainly where he is an invasive species now, and where like mainly after people were restoring them, making them come back to life, people would beat them and release them, or they would escape, and now they're causing problems in the Pokemon universe. And what is it?
It looks certainly like an Ammonite. You can definitely see the inspiration of it from an Ammonite. That's what we're going to be doing. I completely forgot to explain that. This is like our third time trying to record that intro. She'll be talking about the Pokemon in relation to their Pokédex things and like their in-universe lore, and I'll be talking about it in reference to the animal in which it's based off of. This, for example, is certainly an Ammonite. You can mostly tell by the shell, of course. It's got this nice-looking spiral right here. The squid-like features up here with these massive eyes that are a little bit more forward-facing, which is different from the real-life animal, of course. But you can definitely see the influence.
Yeah, and especially in this video, we're not going to be talking about like Pokemon that represents like dinosaurs or anything, only specifically fossil Pokemon, fossils that we restored into living creatures again. So Jurassic Park, basically. And we're gonna go to Omostar.
Is that this fellow?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm saying this right. I'm probably not, but anyway, how he went extinct is really funny. Is that his shell got too large for it to hunt. And so the only way is able to get prey if creatures come too close to his like tentacles, it could grab it and bite it with its really sharp fangs. So mainly is the same like Ammonite and stuff.
Yeah, just a little bit more exaggerated from the last one we saw with these extended tentacles. Pupils that are a little bit more slit-like instead of being rounded like the previous one, and the addition of these spikes and things like that. And it's also got like more of a squid beak going on. So all things considered, you can still definitely tell what these were inspired from, which is really cool, of course.
And then we're gonna go on to Kabuto. Mainly, he's just a little guy, and so mainly with his Pokédex entry is that people believe that they were fully extinct, but in some places in the Pokemon universe, you could spot them.
Yeah, definitely like a horseshoe crab, or of course like a trilobite or something along those lines, something in that vein.
And then we're gonna go on to Kabutos or Tops Kabut.
So that's this fella right here.
Yeah, and mainly what would you describe this thing?
It's a lot more bipedal.
Mm.
That's for true. It keeps some of the traits of the previous son of a gun over here, with the exoskeleton thing going on. Maybe a little bit more sea scorpion-like, or a little bit more horseshoe crab-like because of this tail thing here. Very similar to horseshoe crab, so that's all I got.
And I guess I could just add on to his Pokédex entry is that mainly how it kills his prey by his long, sharp arms you can see there, and it sucks out the fluid from them, leaves like his little corpse floating down to the bottom of the sea, and other Pokemon will eat it. So it's nature, but it's really disturbing. So perfect for Halloween.
It's the season.
Yes.
It is the season.
Okay, and so we're gonna go to Aerodactyl. So Aerodactyl is, you could get him by getting an old amber, and what his Pokédex entry is that they believe that they don't have the fullest form of him. Basically, in Gen 1, in later iterations of Pokemon games, that they have a better idea by finding more of the genus. So mainly it's just a Jurassic Park situation where again, these are not perfect specimens.
And you could definitely see the influence, especially in the name, where of course it's being called Aerodactyl, very similar to something like pterodactyl. Of course, pterodactyl is not an actual genus name. There is Pterodactylus, but there's not specifically like pterodactyl. But of course, this is all fictional. Anywho, you can see a lot of the influence with pterosaurs in general, with the wings and things like that, and just the singular four limbs and all that good stuff, and a tail that is a little bit similar to a Dimorphodon tail. But the overall skeletal anatomy is a lot more representative of something like Pteranodon, with this kind of crest up here. But I'm like looking at other images and like down here, does it have like two crests?
I would say two crests, yes.
So that's different, of
Because
course.
it has like the nose one, and then it has like its little.
Well, I mean, like
head.
back here, like look, there's like one above. Oh, the webcam's blocking you. Sorry. There's
Oh
like
no,
one
you're
again,
good.
one above each eye.
Yeah,
Is what
I
I'm seeing.
personally, I never had him on my team because again, I was a little bit old or younger than this generation, but yeah, just he probably does. But also, yeah, I was going to say something,
Also,
but I forgot.
a lot of dragon, like leaning more so towards dragons. Also with teeth, it does seem to have teeth at the very least on the lower mandible, or just on the mandible in general, which is something that, of course, Pteranodon lacks. There are pterosaurs out there that do possess teeth, like Dimorphodon and some others that are escaping me right now. But of course, Tropignathus and other guys like that. But Pteranodon, which is what this guy seems to be mostly based off of, certainly did lack them. So that is a definite difference right there.
Yeah, and would you say it's accurate for the time or no? Is back in 1998.
98? No. No, certainly
They just
not.
went with it. They just went with the whim. They're like, I want to make monsters, which Pokemon actually stands for pocket monsters. And
Yeah. And of
so,
course, this is all just incredibly stylized for that time. But, there are a lot of media depictions of Pteranodon and other pterosaurs that are pretty similar to this, where they're just kind of like scaly, just like more like kind of like bat-like lizard dragon things, essentially. Again, this leans more towards dragon than
yeah,
anything else. At least that's what it screams to me.
yeah.
All right. What we got next?
We're gonna go to. We are gonna personally skip over the plant ones because we personally don't know a lot about them and we're not really interested. But we're gonna move on to Anorith. So we're gonna move moving on to Anorith.
Anorith.
Look at him. He's just a little guy. He has little claws, and I actually drew him in the thumbnail, and I have him placed on my little head. So mainly, he's just a really good swimmer in his Pokédex entry, and that he could just attack prey like that. So yeah, he's just what is he?
Very much an Anomalocaris. And he's definitely doing his best. And he's like, I mean, this looks like an Anomalocaris, essentially. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
This looks like it could be a stylized version of that animal, with some deviation here and there. So it is still a little bit stylized. But it, like, if you showed me this, I would probably think it was a stylized Anomalocaris, because it has these type of flaps towards the side. I mean, they don't look quite like flaps, but this is something that Anomalocaris did possess. These type of appendages toward the front is something that it had. The overall body looks pretty similar to it. Everything certainly screams Anomalocaris. I think it looks very good in that aspect.
yeah,
So I like it. I
Yeah.
really like it. Many interpretations of Anomalocaris coming soon, possibly.
Yes.
I don't know. Not too sure yet. But no, I think that's really good. And little fun fact about Anomalocaris that I have to bring up every single time. It seems like Anomalocaris was the first ever apex predator. All right.
killing little guys, just killing with his little claws.
It was grabbing like soft-skinned fish and just like pulling it closer to its mouth. Because it seems like its mouth wasn't strong enough to like bite through tough shells and things like that, which is something I got wrong in my Minecraft video, I believe, because it's like completely old information. So it'd go after like soft-bodied fish and things like that. But still, it seems like it might have been a force to be reckoned with in those seas.
And then I like with his evolution that Armando,
This fella.
yeah, that guy. I cannot say his name, but it's just in his evolution, he just grew legs. That's
Yeah,
it.
and just like all of the traits are just a little bit exaggerated and kind of like morphed into a different spot.
Yeah.
I like how it kind of like has fake eyes too. That's not something I really noticed, but like now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of like evil eyes, funny eyes, you know? Like
It's just like derpy. That's why I do like his first evolution a lot more because the eyes are more round. But his second evolution is like just meant to be a tough guy. Like, and I heard that is really good to have on your team. And also with this Pokemon, it's believed to be the ancestor of modern bug Pokemon. So,
very cool.
is it a bug though?
Is it a bug?
Yeah, like in real life.
Anomalocaris? They're like arthropod adjacent.
Yeah,
Sister
okay.
taxon to arthropods or something like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. It's like I do not know if they're actually bugs or not. So, we're gonna go to Cranidos.
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 I'm sorry if everybody hates my pronunciation of things.
And
Completely valid.
mine too, because I should know better, but I do not know them. I'm kind of getting back into Pokemon. I used to play it a lot when I was like 10, and again, like as you get older and stuff, you get different interests, and so no, like now I'm getting back into things I like, so I am re-teaching myself about these guys. So look at them. They just in their Pokédex entry, like they just hit each other in the head. That's for fighting prey, or they're fighting each other. So it's basically what I believe what you're going to say it is.
Fighting prey? Are these guys carnivorous?
Actually, probably.
Are they like omnivorous?
I thought it was for prey is for fighting opponents. So
Fighting opponents.
yeah, my apologies.
I thought that would have been interesting because there is a possibility that Pachycephalosaurus was an omnivorous animal. Some of its teeth seemed very similar to some theropod teeth. But because, of course, these guys are very much Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah.
And it looks very good as that. I mean, this is one of the few fossil Pokemon that I actually had some prior knowledge about. Intentionally leaving it out of the Pachycephalosaurus video because I knew that we were going to do this video. But it looks very good as Pachycephalosaurus. It has what seems to be a beak right here, which is something the Pachycephalosaurus did possess. The bump on its head, which is what Pachycephalosaurus is known for. It is the name Pachycephalosaurus translates to thick-headed lizard, even though it's not a lizard, of course. And it has these type of spikes on the back of its head, or these little knobs. It looks really good as a type of stylized Pachycephalosaurus, even though it's not technically a Pachycephalosaurus. You know, it's a Pokemon, but yeah, I think it looks awesome like that. It looks fantastic, and the colors are really cool. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love this little dude.
And then just his evolution is just like, again, another tougher version of him. So yeah, I'm not going to really talk too much about him because, again, I believe his Pokédex entry is, yeah, the same. Just take a lot of impact, like, you know. So, but I do like with his evolution is just more of a spikier version.
Like this fella?
Yeah.
Yeah, it still keeps all of the traits, essentially. Like, you can very much tell what it's inspired from, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Let's move on to Sheldon.
Sheldon.
I think is Sheldon.
Sheldon or Sheldon?
Yeah, Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
You know what? Okay, I gotta say this. You know what kind of reminds me of right here?
What?
Jake the dog.
Oh, because he's yellow.
He's got like jowls.
Yeah, he does have little jowls.
They're not. I mean, they should be placed underneath the nose if it looked like Jake, but
yeah, but
you know.
for like a dinosaur, I feel like it's not bad having it there. I like with him is basically like if he could, his head is so hard that he could be attacked by opponents and it wouldn't phase him. And literally in the Pokédex entry, he could just still be eating berries during battle. So yeah, that's
like, I don't know, I'm hungry. And as he's fighting,
yeah, he needs to get big and strong because in his evolution, look how big he is. And so that is gonna be Basidon, or
this guy.
Yeah, Basid. That word.
Is that Bastodon?
Yeah, I think Basidon. So
Bastiodon.
Yeah, Bastiodon. And I like that with him and his Pokédex entry is that their faces are full defense. Like, yes, he does has osteoderms in the back, but again, like how regular Triceratops, like they're not protected as much back there. So mainly when it's getting attacked, it'll be in a herd, and all of them line up to each other, and they just build a wall with their heads.
I got these shield heads. So yeah, you basically brought that up. These are very representative of Ceratopsian dinosaurs. You can definitely see the inspiration of that. And it kind of seems like it's kind of like a combination of a whole bunch of different Ceratopsians. This does seem like what baby Ceratopsians would look like, with kind of like stubbier features and lacking some of the defensive things that the adults would have. And then this one, this further evolution, it kind of looks like a combination of a few different of a few different Ceratopsians. You have like more of a squared frill right here. Maybe this kind of looks like a boss of my boy Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah.
You have like two horns that kind of go to the side, kind of like Triceratops or Torosaurus or many other Ceratopsians. And it's got this kind of like wide build and things like that. So you can definitely see the influence. And yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it looks pretty cool.
Which would you lean more towards, like more Pachycephalosaurus or?
I'd say probably a Chasmosaurine rather than a Centrosaurine.
Oh.
So probably more towards like something like Triceratops or something like that, because it's got like a wider frill in general.
Okay.
So that's typically what it would remind me of.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then we're going to move on to... Oh, God. This name is going to kill me.
Caracosta?
Caracosta.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I believe this is the turtle one.
Turtle.
Yeah. We got turtles. Yeah, he's a freaking turtle.
Oh.
Yeah.
So... tell me about it.
So, mainly with him, like, he's the ancestor of modern turtle Pokemon, and he just has a really thick shell, and yeah, that's mainly...
This is a fossil Pokemon?
This is a fossil Pokemon. Supposedly, he's supposed to be based off of that big giant turtle. I don't know what it's called.
Archelon?
Yeah.
That's where I went. That's where my mind went.
And
this down here looks a lot more like Archelon.
Yes. So that is the first evolution. I accidentally skipped. But the one that I showed you before is the second evolution.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. So this guy right here is based off of Archelon, and by extension, this guy is too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love him. This is a Gen 5 Pokemon, and I didn't go this route because the next Pokemon is my personal favorite, but he's just a little guy. I feel like he's not as exciting, though, for a fossil Pokemon. I feel like they could have maybe...
As Archelon, I think so. Like, this kind of looks pretty good as Archelon. It kind of has, like, a blacker shell, similar to modern-day leatherback turtles, which is where most reconstructions seem to lean towards with something like Archelon. Like, with that, the carapace looking a lot more like that. That's how they did it in Prehistoric Planet, when you see them kind of like just, crawling themselves on the beach and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty good overall. And, this just seems like a logical step to bring that type of evolution, I guess, for creatures like Pokemon.
Just make them more of a monster.
Wow, look at that art.
Oh!
Wow, that is impressive.
Some people...
Shout out to Cibis Vishno.
Yeah.
I pronounced that correctly. Shout out to them on DeviantArt. That's really cool.
That is cool. I like it. And then, so we're gonna go to my little guy.
Oh! Yeah! My mind went to Archelon again.
No, I'm so sorry, but we might be saying his name wrong, but I drew him in the thumbnail again, and look at him. He's just a wholesome little guy. And in his Pokédex entry is that he mainly just has his wings that they're, like, he could hop to branches, but he's not able to fly. So, yeah, and then we just triple checked that, yeah, they mainly live in treetops and stuff like that. But he's just a little derpy little guy.
Judging from the name, this is probably based off of Archaeopteryx. One of, if not the first ever dinosaur to be found with actual feathers. I think it was the first. Thereby, like, kind of recontextualizing the way that we saw dinosaurs, because Archaeopteryx was found with, feathers, which immediately screamed birds at the time, but it had features that were what was thought to be strictly dinosaurs, like long claws and a mouth full of sharp teeth and a longer tail and things like that. So that's when the link between birds and dinosaurs really kind of started. It didn't really take off until years later, but that's where it pretty much started. This guy has feathers by the looks of it, which lines up.
I like that you could you could restore him by his tail. Like that's the fossil that they found to make him come alive and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and it looks really cool. And a little fun fact about Archaeopteryx, it is one of the dinosaurs that we have part of an idea of what its coloration was. And I say part of an idea because we only really know part of its wing or its arms. And that's because like its arms were they were like a little bit more of a black coloration. That's like the only part of it that we know. The rest is up for debate, but
And then I like with its evolution that it gets like more feathering and more doesn't like which that or dinosaur that you're talking about with the feathers being more on the legs. I feel like this is a better representation
yeah,
of it.
that I didn't even notice that on this first one, but it has completely naked legs.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because they're just little nubs, you know? He just doesn't
But yeah,
need...
it gets feathers here. That's pretty cool. I mean, the shape, the overall shape looks quite different to Archaeopteryx, but you can see the influence. I think that looks pretty cool. All around, I think that's pretty cool.
Ooh, in my notes, I wrote that he is specifically 4 foot and 7 inches. This guy. So
This one?
Yes.
Holy cow!
So is it like Utah raptor size?
4 foot? No.
Yeah, when I was writing that, I was like, oh, it's a Utah raptor. And then, yeah, this one could actually fly finally because his feathers are, which I don't know how much that makes sense though, because it gets bigger. So like,
Well, I mean, 4 feet isn't too terribly big.
to fly?
I don't know.
Well, I guess there's like that one bird, the giant bird that flies.
Yeah, we got like albatross today.
Yeah.
They're huge.
So
They can fly.
I guess that's not
I'm sure
fully
that's not.
unreasonable.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, I like that I'm saying that, as there's like Charizard that's like a giant dragon basically, which technically
And
he's
like
not a dragon.
Hatzegopteryx, Quetzalcoatlus, and things like that. They got adaptations to fly.
Yeah, so yeah, I just think he's funny. And then we are going into more T-Rex territory. So
Oh, Tyrant.
yeah, Tyrant.
I know this guy. I know this guy.
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's so cute. I want to hold him. And I think they have sharp skin, so I think you can't hold them. I do not know.
They got sharp skin, huh?
Yeah, like I know with some Pokemon, like you actually can't hold them because they will kill you. Basically, this is. But I don't know if he's one of them. I'm just going off of speculation. But anyway, he's selfish in my notes. Like, yeah.
He's selfish.
Yeah, he's selfish.
Son of a gun.
And he likes to be pampered. So mainly he's like the Chihuahua of like T-Rex and stuff. So and he inflicts wounds that are like onto his trainer by playing too rough.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just like a big old puppy with sharper teeth that could kill you.
Okay, well, looks like he has like some lacrimal horns going on here, and as you said, he's very sharp. Got two digits on its hands, similar to Tyrannosaurus Rex, and yeah, pretty standard, I'd say. And then it goes up into Tyrantrum, right?
Yeah, Tyrantrum.
Yeah. I love Tyrantrum. I know Tyrantrum, and I love Tyrantrum. Look how cool that looks.
I put him in the thumbnails, like Dino Guy always talks about him, so I'm like, yep, that's gonna be his Pokemon. So
look at that.
Yeah.
And I've seen some really cool art. Look at that.
How do you feel about the feathering?
Raflodamin. That was cool. It's like sparse feathering, kind of like how Tyrannosaurus Rex likely would have had.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was always wondering. I was like, is he gonna like that part
R.J. Palmer did some art. Dude, I love R.J. Palmer's art. Look how cool that looks.
Look, it looks like he gave him like a sack around his neck. Like that is cool.
Wow, that is so cool.
And it says a single bite.
I've seen this one before.
Oh, sorry.
By Arvalus. Sorry. Look at that. It's fighting the Ceratopsian dude.
Yeah, and like it most likely could have been. Oh. Just both of us. Oh God, and especially with the.
That is so cool. God, sorry, I'll let you talk.
No, you're good.
I turned off my monitor. Here, just talk about him while we're.
Okay, sounds good. I just like that mainly it keeps it true to being a T-Rex that it says as massive jaw could like in one single bite demolish a car. And this is used to be the king of ancient Pokemon.
And that tracks.
Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus Rex had the most powerful bite force of any land animal that we know of. Unless, of course, you count something like Deinosuchus, which is semi-aquatic. But yeah. But absolutely amazing artwork right here. And Tyrantrum in general is... Look at that. Look at that dude.
Oh, that episode's so sad. It's like this little girl loves Tyrantrum and like she falls and he saves her.
Oh, really?
And she wants to make him her Pokemon, but he always belongs to someone else.
Oh.
So she gets sad, but she dresses up as him, and I think it's cute. Oh.
But this is like 10 out of 10 right here. This is just so cool.
Just peak.
Just peak.
I'm wondering if you'll like the Pokemon that goes along with, because these two, Tyrantrum and this next Pokemon are in the same gen. So, Amara.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Yeah.
I've seen this one too. Yay.
I hate its first gen though. Or like not first gen. I hate its first evolution.
That's interesting.
It's
certainly interesting.
It's ugly.
But
it's
very
like,
much see the sauropod influence.
Yes, and mainly this one is
and
like
the Chihuahua's going crazy.
Yes, he is. Should I grab him?
No,
or just...
he's fine. He'll be all right.
Yeah, mainly if you're a fan of him, don't take any offense to what I'm saying. It's just, it's not my favorite of the fossil Pokemon, but I like its backstory that it's got, the fossils were found in ice, and that's how it gets its ice powers. Mostly might have had ice powers back when it lived, but also with fossil Pokemon is just interesting because they kind of take on the type of what they were found in their fossils. So even though some of it doesn't really make sense for them to be ground type or, but this one, yeah, I think this one's cute. And let me see if I could add anything else to it. And the Pokédex entry would hide out in the cold to hide from more predators and stuff. So, which makes sense because a lot of dinosaurs probably wouldn't hang out in the cold. And what do you think this is?
Well, I mean, like, I know what this evolves into, and plus, given the name, I'd say Amargasaurus.
Yeah.
You can see the starting, and I can see what it evolves into right here anyway. You can see what it starts off with these type of... I mean, it's interesting that they start from the eye, but I could probably talk a little bit more about it when we get... What's this one called?
This one is called Aurorus. And this one's cool because when it howls at night, it has more of a... it can make auroras. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
That is an actual word in the real...
Yeah.
Word in the real world, I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Darn, that's me.
Yeah, but no, he could make like actual auroras and stuff. So that's
so I've talked a little bit about this one, and like a long time ago on TikTok, and I think it's pretty cool. It is a little bit more accurate to the way that Amargasaurus was, in the fact that it doesn't just have like exposed spikes or something like that, which was kind of common at the time. But actually, it looks like it doesn't even have spikes. Tall neural spines. Look at that. What?
I really badly want
crazy
to go to the museum that they have, and I don't know if they still have it. I think it was just a temporary thing, but it's just so cool.
Yeah, it is very cool, that whole exhibit thing that they had set up in Japan.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that, but supposedly in Japan, like, dinosaurs are a big thing, so...
Luckies.
Yeah. We just need to move there, it'll be fine.
But no, I like it. You can see the sauropod influence, and I like that it has the traits that make Amargasaurus popular. Amargasaurus is a great choice to have inspiration for your, for a fossil Pokemon. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Love that one too. Both Tyrantrum and this one are my favorite.
Yep.
I like this one.
I'm not going to talk too much into detail, but can you look up Gen 9? I think it's Gen 9 fossil Pokemon. Yes, so if you press that picture on the top.
This one?
Yes, press that one. So mainly, these are what people speculate that these Pokemon might look like, because on the picture on the left, like, you just find pieces of them. and you have the chance of handing them to this scientist, and her name is like referenced to being like careless, and she just puts these guys together, doesn't even care they belong to each other, and they make these monstrosities. And I'm not going to talk too much about the Pokédex entry for them because I just feel bad for these guys. I really wish that they could have had the option of having like the full specimens and just making them, you know, the full Pokemon as an option. But I do like the whole fossil war element to it, and I think Dino Guy could talk a little bit more on that.
So, we got like a Dromaeosaur
Yeah.
head.
On
There's like a Stegosaurid butt. There's a Dunkleosteus head.
Yes.
I don't know what this is.
It's like a Dunkleosteus head and like a, what's that one with a really long neck?
Plesiosaur?
Yeah, body.
Okay.
And then they're just so sad.
That is interesting.
Yes. And so I love the Pokemon community that has sat down and tried to figure out how they would look like if they were fully restored. So
yeah, actually that looks like the Stegosaurid here, the way that they reconstructed it anyway, looks like Kentrosaurus or Gigantospinosaurus or something like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, but it's just the only thing that gets me upset is that there's no way to actually find all the pieces because they don't offer that. They only offer to be able to make those 4 mismatch ones.
Right.
So, like the Dunkleosteus, you don't get. I can't pronounce. I can't talk. I am here just for art. I am not here for talking. Okay, I will be honest on that.
You're fine.
Yeah,
You're fine.
but you can't find his body. I think he looks, and look at him. His head's upside down.
Oh.
Yeah. So he
notice that.
almost looks correct, but then you look at his head and it's upside down.
Huh.
It's so sad.
Well.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You could say that.
Did you have fun looking at the fossil Pokemon?
I did have fun looking at the fossil Pokemon, yeah.
I do
Let
feel.
me just get this back. Whoop.
Whoa.
Whoop. Okay.
Whoa.
There we go. So
Yeah.
that's all of the fossil Pokemon that we have?
Yeah, that's
That is
all of
the
them.
fossil Pokemon. Oh, I wonder if I was like, I hope I wasn't like doing this.
I was
for this
kept
video.
checking, and no,
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time you're like much closer to the camera because you're looking at the screen.
Oh, gotcha.
But again, we didn't talk about the more plant ones, and just because
I just don't, I'm not too knowledgeable at that type of stuff, so I can't really like add too much to it.
yeah, and their Pokédex entries, at least the ones that I found, weren't too interesting. So, no offense to them. I know Jaden had one on her team, on her Nuzlocke. I'm sorry. We're not a fan of them. But yeah. Anyway, she had it as cannon fire, so it's fine. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
So those are really cool. There was a lot of really cool designs on there. Like I said, though, Aurorus and Tyrantrum are by far my favorites. I thought that those guys looked so cool. So yeah, no, this was really cool.
Yeah.
This was really cool to dive into.
And if anyone is interested in this video and would like maybe a part 2 to talk about dinosaurs' reputation in Pokemon, like there's a lot that are similar. So yeah, maybe a part 2.
Yeah, so just let us know, like the video if that's something that you want to see, and be sure to leave a comment and, a little bit of a subscribe. We talk about a lot of dinosaur stuff here. It's a fun time. But thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.